Have you ever casually emptied your pockets, glanced at a penny, and thought, meh, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that one of those little brown coins could actually be worth $2 million? Yes, you heard that right too. Million. Dollars. Today, we're talking about the elusive 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny without a mint mark. Why is it so special? What makes it worth more than a luxury car, a mansion, or, heck, my entire coin collection? Grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's dive into it. First, let's set the stage. 2009 wasn't just any ordinary year for pennies. It marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln penny itself. The U.S. Mint decided to celebrate with 4 different reverse designs depicting scenes from Lincoln's life. Pretty cool, right? Now, most of these pennies were minted in bulk, but the ones without a mint mark, that's where the magic happens. The lack of a mint mark means these coins were struck in Philadelphia, and they're as rare as me finding matching socks in the morning. Here's where it gets juicy. A specific 2009 Lincoln penny recently sold for a jaw-dropping $2 million because of its perfect condition. That's right. The grading scale for coins goes from 1 to 70, and this baby hit a perfect 70. Coins in perfect condition are like unicorns. They're mythical, rare, and worth a fortune at all. And it doesn't hurt that collectors go bananas over historical coins. Combine rarity, historical significance, and condition, and bam, you've got yourself a multimillion-dollar penny. Now, let me tell you about my own penny moment. A few years ago, I found a 2009 Lincoln penny in my pocket change and thought, could this be the one? I was so excited I practically sprinted to a coin dealer. Spoiler alert. It was worth exactly 1 cent. Yep. I spent hours dreaming about yachts and fancy vacations, only to walk out with my penny and a slightly bruised ego. Moral of the story? You never know what you've got until you get it checked out. So always take the time to look. How to spot a valuable 2009 Lincoln penny? So, how can you tell if you've got a golden ticket sitting in your coin jar? If there's no D or S under the date, you're in business. A pristine penny is your best bet. No scratches, smudges, or coffee stains from when you used it as a coaster. Double-check that it's one of the 4 special 2009 reverse designs. If your penny checks all the boxes, get it professionally graded. It might just be your ticket to millionaire status. Now, let's talk about the market. Coins like this are hot commodities, and prices are soaring. Even if your penny isn't a perfect 70, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. So don't dismiss those old coins gathering dust in your drawers. They might just surprise you. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 2009 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $2 million. Who would have thought something so small could be so valuable? Coins are like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a handful of spare change, the thrill is in the hunt. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and share it with someone who's got a jar full of pennies. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and stories that just might make you a millionaire. What if I told you that you might have a $2.6 million penny just sitting around in your collection or even in your pocket? Yeah, that's right, a penny. We've all been guilty of throwing pennies in the jar or even letting them pile up in the bottom of our bags. But what if one of those pennies could buy you a house or a Lamborghini? Sounds too good to be true, right? Stick with me for a few minutes, and I'll break down why that little Lincoln in your pocket could actually be worth a fortune. All right, so we're talking about the 1994 Abraham Lincoln penny. But not just any 1994 penny. No, no. This one's missing something. It has no mint mark. That's right, no D for Denver or S for San Francisco. The penny you're looking for is missing that tiny little letter, and that's what makes it super rare and incredibly valuable. Now, let's talk about what this coin actually is. The mint mark on a penny usually indicates where it was made, right? Well, back in 1994, there was a mix-up at the U.S. Mint, and a small batch of pennies didn't get any mint marks. That mistake turned out to be a huge deal, because not only are they rare, but they're also in high demand from collectors. It's like that one pair of sneakers everyone wants because they sold out on release day. But instead of sneakers, it's a penny. A penny that, if you find it, could put you in a whole new tax bracket. Okay, So what makes these coins so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and condition. The 1994 no mint mark penny didn't just slip through the cracks. It was produced in a super small quantity. And because it's so rare, people are willing to pay big money for it. Right now, the market value for these pennies can reach up to a whopping $2.6 million. I mean, can you imagine finding a penny worth more than your car? That's what we're talking about here, so you might be wondering, how do I find one of these bad boys? First of all, don't just go searching through your loose change or penny jar willy-nilly. The 1994 no mint mark penny is rare, like finding a needle in a haystack rare. But hey, if you don't look, you'll never know, right? Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. If you happen to find a 1994 no mint mark penny that's in mint condition, that's where you could strike gold. The better the condition, the more valuable the penny. A coin that's been through years of wear and tear isn't going to fetch the same price as one that looks like it just came from the US Mint yesterday. So if you find one, protect it like it's your favorite pair of socks. Make sure it stays in good condition. Honestly, it's all about that mint mark. If you've got a 1994 penny and you don't see a D or S near Lincoln's monument on the reverse side, it could be your lucky day. Take a close look with a magnifying glass, or better yet, get your hands on a good coin guide or app to help with the identification. I was at a flea market a few years ago, just browsing through some old junk, as we all do, and I came across this old jar filled with coins. It was one of those grab a handful for a buck deals. I wasn't expecting much, but when I sifted through the coins, there it was, a 1994 penny without a mint mark. I had no idea at the time, and it just sat in my collection for months. I almost threw it in the change jar to forget about it, but something told me to do a quick search online. And well, that penny ended up being worth far more than I'd ever imagined. I'm not saying it was worth $2.6 million, but it was definitely worth far more than the price I paid. So if you've got a 1994 penny lying around, don't just dismiss it. It could be the golden ticket you've been waiting for. And if you're into coin collecting, or even if you're just starting to get curious, it's definitely worth paying close attention to the rare coins out there. All right, friends, let's recap. That little 1994 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be worth a cool $2.6 million if you find it in the right condition. How crazy is that? If you're lucky enough to stumble upon one of these, make sure to treat it like the treasure it is. But hey, even if you don't have one of these rare pennies, there are plenty of other coins out there worth a pretty penny, pun totally intended. If you love the idea of hunting for valuable coins, or just want to stay in the loop about which ones are worth big bucks, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss out on more coin tips, tricks, and strategies. So, you're sitting there with a pocket full of pennies, right? And you're thinking, is this little copper nugget worth more than I thought? Well, I have some news that might just knock your socks off. The 1993 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that's been sitting in your change jar, could be worth a cool $2.7 million. Yup, you heard that right, $2.7 million. I know, your mind is probably racing. So let's dive in and see how this little guy got so valuable. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these hidden treasures, stick around because by the end of this, you'll be flipping through your change like a coin hunting pro. Cut to a quirky shot of someone searching through their couch cushions with exaggerated excitement. Alright, so let's back up for a second. What exactly is this 1993 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why does it get all the hype? Well, first of all, it's just like any other penny you'll find with Abraham Lincoln on the front. The key feature? That little D Mint mark on the back, which indicates it was minted in Denver. That's the first thing you need to know. The mint mark is crucial here. But, like most things in life, there's a little twist. This particular penny is not like the others. Now, normally a 1993 D penny isn't worth much. Maybe a few cents if you're lucky, right? Well, that was the case for a lot of them. Until one little, rare gem made headlines. You see, in 1993, some pennies left the mint with a major mistake, which is why this coin is worth so much. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, a mistake? What kind of mistake could make a penny worth millions? Well, hold on to your wallet because this is where things get interesting. Okay, here's where we get into the nitty-gritty. Back in 1993, during the production of these pennies, there was a mistake at the Denver Mint. Some of the pennies were made with an extra wide spacing between the letters on the reverse side of the coin, especially between E and P in a pluribus unum. Now, to the untrained eye, this might look like just a funky coin with some bad spacing. But to coin collectors, it's like finding a four-leaf clover in your yard. Except you have to dig through a whole lot of weeds to get to it. This tiny error, folks, is what turns this penny into a rarity. And like anything rare, once it's spotted, the demand for it goes through the roof. But here's the kicker. Most of these coins were snatched up by collectors almost immediately. Some of them never even made it into circulation. So, if you find one of these, you've basically hit the jackpot. So why is this particular error coin worth a whopping $2.7 million? Simple, because it's incredibly rare. Only a handful of these pennies exist, and even fewer in excellent condition. This is a collector's dream. Real holy grail of the penny world. If you happen to find one, you're not just holding a penny. You're holding a piece of history, and I know what you're thinking. I've got some pennies in my change jar. Where's my $2.7 million? Well, slow down, my friend. Just having a 1993 penny doesn't automatically mean you're a millionaire. The key to this treasure hunt is identifying the error and having the coin in the right condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. All right, now let's get to the good stuff. How do you know if you've found one of these rare pennies? The number one thing to look for is the spacing error I mentioned earlier. Pay close attention to the words e pluribus unum on the reverse side. The letters should be a bit farther apart than usual. If you spot that, you've got the first clue that you might have a valuable coin in your hands. Another way to tell if it's valuable is by the condition of the coin. If you find one in mint condition, with no wear and tear, scratches, or discoloration, you're looking at something that could fetch big bucks. Honestly, it's like the coin's version of being a celebrity. Everyone wants it. Now, let me tell you a little story from my own coin hunting days. I was once sure I had found a rare coin in a pile of loose change. Like a true coin expert, I thought I had struck gold. It was a 1943 steel penny, and I knew it was a mistake penny worth thousands. I held on to it for months, dreaming about the sweet cash I was about to get, until I showed it to a real expert. Turns out, it wasn't rare at all. But hey, at least it wasn't worth less than a penny, right? So trust me, I know the excitement of thinking you've found a hidden treasure. But when it comes to rare coins like this 1993 penny, you gotta do your research to be sure you're holding on to something valuable. Now, I'm sure you're all itching to go through your pennies and start your own treasure hunt. And hey, why not? You never know when you'll come across the next big find. But remember, spotting valuable coins takes a bit of knowledge and some good old-fashioned luck. So, keep your eyes peeled and your magnifying glass ready. If you want more tips and tricks on coins worth money, strategies for hunting down rare finds, and just good old-fashioned coin nerdiness, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on these tips that could make you a coin expert and maybe even a millionaire someday. Keep hunting, folks. All right, folks, I bet you've got a penny or two hanging around in your pocket right now, right? But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth more than a brand new car? Or even a house? Yes, I'm talking about the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's worth an eye-popping $2.8 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way, a penny? But trust me, stick around because this little coin has quite the story to tell. And who knows, maybe you've got one in your jar of loose change right now. So, let's dive in and break down why this penny is causing such a stir, and how you could get your hands on one if you're lucky. What is a 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? First off, let's clear up what we're dealing with here. The 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't your average change you pick up at the grocery store checkout. Normally, when you look at a penny, there's a little D or S stamped on it. This tells you where it was made. D means Denver, S means San Francisco, and the lack of a mint mark usually means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's where the twist comes in. The 1987 penny that's worth millions doesn't have any mint mark at all. Nada. Zip. Zero. So, why is this penny worth so much? Well, in 1987, a batch of pennies got released with no mint mark at all, just a strange little quirk in the production line. Now, normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. I mean, coins get misstruck all the time. But this penny, this one, is unique. It's a mint error coin, and those always have collectors' eyes popping out of their heads. You know how people love rare Pokemon cards, right? Same deal, except this is the Pokemon card of the coin world. And here's the kicker. There aren't many of these rare pennies floating around. In fact, the number of them on the market is pretty limited. That scarcity, mixed with the fact that it's from a year that isn't particularly known for rare coins, makes it an absolute goldmine for collectors. If you've got one, hold on to it like your life depends on it, because you could be looking at $2.8 million when all is said and done. How to spot a 1987 no mint mark penny? Now, I'm guessing you're probably wondering, how do I even know if my penny is worth millions? Well, don't worry. It's not like you have to get a microscope out and start inspecting every inch of your pennies like you're searching for hidden treasure. But here's what you want to look for. If you have a 1987 penny and it's missing that mint mark, that's your first clue. Just flip it over and see if you can find it. Don't see the D or the S? That's a good start. But don't get too excited just yet. You'll also want to check for the other signs of wear and tear that make this coin special. The rarity isn't just in the mint mark. It's about the condition of the coin too. So, make sure it looks in pretty good shape, no deep scratches or heavy damage. After all, you're dealing with something that might go for $2.8 million. So, I've got to tell you a funny story. Back when I was younger, I didn't think much of pennies. I used to toss them around like they were just, well, pennies. I'd even give them to my friends like it was no big deal. And then, one day, I remember my grandfather calling me over and saying, "You better start paying attention to those pennies, kid." I was like, "Grandpa, they're just pennies. They're not worth anything." And he laughed and said, "Trust me, if you're not careful, you'll miss out on finding the one penny that could pay for your future." At the time, I didn't really get it, but now, I wish I had listened. If I'd kept some of those old coins instead of tossing them in the jar, maybe I'd be the one holding that $1 million penny. But hey, I can still dream. All right, let's wrap this up. If you've got a 1987 penny with no mint mark, you could have struck gold, or should I say, struck copper? You could be holding on to a potential $2.8 million, and who wouldn't want to find that out, right? So, start checking your pockets, your change jar, and your old coin collections to see if you've got this rare gem. And remember, it's not just about finding rare coins. It's about knowing what you're looking at and understanding what makes it valuable. If you found this video helpful and want more tips on rare coins, valuable finds, and strategies for making your collection worth more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I've got tons more coming your way that you won't want to miss. Trust me, you don't want to be the one kicking yourself later for not knowing how valuable your pennies could be. Have you ever stumbled across a penny, took a quick glance and thought, it's just a penny, before tossing it aside? Well, hold on to your hats because that penny could be worth millions. Yes, millions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right, a penny? Come on. But I'm about to blow your mind with the story of the 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little coin could be hiding in your pocket, your drawer, or even under the couch cushions. And, trust me, you'll want to know what to do if you find one. Now, if you're new to the world of coin collecting, don't sweat it. This might sound crazy, but stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this seemingly ordinary penny could fetch up to $2.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. $2.9 million. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let me tell you about this rare gem and why you should start paying more attention to the pennies in your life. All right, let's break this down. The 1991 penny is what we call a no mint mark penny. You know, usually, pennies have a small D or S under the date, which shows where they were minted. Most of the time, a penny will have a mint mark either from Denver or San Francisco, but the 1991 penny, it's missing that little mark. Why? Well, no one really knows for sure. But what we do know is this. When you find a 1991 penny with no mint mark, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a rare, potentially priceless artifact. Now, let's rewind a little. Imagine you're at a garage sale or digging through your change jar, and you find a 1991 penny. You look at it, maybe give it a little wipe, and toss it aside because it doesn't look like anything special. But here's the catch. If it's a no mint mark variety, you've just stumbled onto a piece of history. For a penny that was meant to be mass-produced, it became an accidental rarity. One of these pennies was sold at auction for a whopping $2.90 million. So, what makes this penny worth so much? To start with, there were supposed to be no pennies minted in 1991 without a mint mark. It's like when you bake a batch of cookies and one comes out all weird and misshapen. Yeah, that's the one you want, right? Well, this flawed penny became a rare mistake that collectors went crazy over. And once that first one sold for a jaw-dropping price, the floodgates opened. People started searching for their own, and it became a race to see who could find the next one. Now, I get it. You're probably wondering, okay, but how can I tell if mine is the real deal? Well, you'll want to take a good look at the reverse side of the penny. The one that's worth millions will have no mint mark at all, not even a tiny D or S. You might also notice that it looks just like a regular penny, so regular that you could almost overlook it. But that's what makes it so special. You'll also want to check if it's in good condition because the higher the grade, the higher the value. A penny in mint condition is always worth more than one that's been worn down over the years. Now, here's where the story gets even crazier. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, had no idea that this penny even existed. One day, he was cleaning out his wallet, because let's be honest, we all have that one wallet full of random coins, and he found a 1991 penny. Now, Dave wasn't into coin collecting. He just thought, it's a penny. I'll toss it into my change jar. Fast forward a few months, and he happens to watch a video on rare coins, just like this one. He hears about the no mint mark 1991 penny and remembers the one he threw into his jar. Well, guess what? Dave didn't find $1 million penny, but he found one that was worth more than the usual penny you find at the store. Now, he's a coin collector, and his wallet's a lot emptier. Moral of the story: always check your pennies. So, to wrap it up, the 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those hidden treasures you just never know when you'll find. While finding one worth $2.9 million is rare, like really rare, it's definitely worth keeping your eyes peeled next time you're going through your coins. If you're just starting out in coin collecting or you're a seasoned collector, this is a reminder that even the most unassuming coins can pack a serious punch. And hey, before you go running off to your local coin shop or digging through your couch cushions, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks on coins worth money. I'll be covering everything from rare coins to the best ways to spot valuable finds in your pocket change. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what I've got planned next. So, let's keep digging and making money one coin at a time. What if I told you there's a penny out there? A simple, humble penny worth, wait for it, $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. This isn't some fairy tale or a mistake. It's a real coin, and it could be sitting in your pocket right now. If you've got a 1987 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, it might just be your golden ticket. Let's dive into this wild story, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end for all the details. All right, let's set the scene. You've got your coffee, you're flipping through your coin collection, and you pull out a penny. Nothing special, right? It's just a 1987 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A quick glance might make you toss it back into the jar with the rest of your change. But wait, before you do that, let's talk about why this particular penny could change your life. This tiny copper disc, folks, could be worth up to $1 million. And yes, I can practically hear the gasps from the audience. But before you go rummaging through your drawers and checking your couch cushions, let me explain. Now, not every 1987 D penny is worth a fortune. So, how do you know if you've got the one that could make you rich? First off, the key to this whole thing is something called error coins. If your 1987 D penny has a significant error, like a double die or any other misprint, then you could be in business. But it has to be a major error, something that a casual glance wouldn't catch. You know, the kind of thing that only an expert would notice at first sight. Like, picture this: a penny that's supposed to have a perfect strike, but instead, there's a mistake that turns it into a rare, collectible coin. Maybe the D mint mark isn't properly struck, or there's an overlap in the date. You might not even know it, but collectors are hungry for these unique errors. That's when the magic happens, my friend. When that one person with a magnifying glass spots it and says, "Aha, this is a valuable error." Your penny suddenly isn't just another coin. It's a treasure. A mint condition, error-free version of the 1987 D penny might be worth, say, around 10 cents. But if it's got that special error, it could fetch as much as $1 million at auction. Yeah, I know. I said a million. Now, let me share a personal story. I once found a 97 penny that I thought was just some ordinary piece of change. I had no idea that coin collectors were obsessed with pennies like that one. It didn't turn out to be worth $1 million, but it was enough for me to get hooked on this whole idea of finding coins worth money. I sold it for $50. Now, that might not seem huge, but trust me, it's a solid return on a penny I almost threw away. And that, my friends, is when I caught the coin fever. It's like going on a treasure hunt, but instead of a map, you've got your spare change jar. Back to the 1987 D penny. This error is so rare that only a few have made it to the public eye. So, how can you find out if you've got one? Well, step 1. Inspect it closely. Get a magnifying glass if you've got one, and check for any signs of error. Look at the mint mark, the date, and make sure everything lines up just right. If something seems off, you've got a good start. But remember, not every 1987 D penny will magically turn into a fortune. It's a needle in a haystack situation. But hey, if you don't look, you won't find it. And you can bet your bottom dollar that there are collectors out there who are dying to get their hands on your mistake coin. So, check those pennies before you toss them into the wishing well of forgotten change. So, now you know, that 1987 D mint mark penny could be worth a small fortune if it's got the right error. But here's the deal. Don't rush out thinking that every penny you find is going to make you a millionaire. Keep your eyes peeled, do your homework, and who knows? Maybe you've already got a gold mine just waiting to be discovered. And if you're new to the world of coin collecting, this is just the beginning. Make sure you're subscribed for more coin tips, tricks, and tales of hidden treasures. We've got a ton more in store for you, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. If you loved learning about this $1 million penny, then hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're digging through your change jar, maybe looking for a penny to toss in the fountain, or just trying to avoid that annoying jingling in your pocket. Now, imagine you find a penny that could be worth over $1 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But trust me, this is a true story, and it's all about that rare 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Stick around to find out how this coin went from a simple pocket change to a mind-blowing $1.1 million. You might just have a gold mine in your own wallet. So, let's get right into it. A lot of people don't even know what a mint mark is. Simply put, it's that tiny little letter on the penny that tells you where it was made. You've probably seen it: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. Most pennies from 1994 have a mint mark, but drumroll please, some don't. The 1994 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is a freaking unicorn in the coin world. Seriously, it's like finding a four-leaf clover, except this clover is worth more than your car. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how this penny went from being a simple copper coin to something that could make you a millionaire. It all comes down to one thing: a mistake at the US Mint. Yep, sometimes even the government messes up. In 1994, a batch of pennies was accidentally minted without the little D or S. The mint is supposed to put those mint marks on all pennies, but somehow, a few of these went out into circulation without them. Not a big deal at first, until coin collectors started noticing that there were a few missing, and then it clicked. These were rare errors. Now, the value of this error coin really skyrocketed when one of them sold at auction for a staggering $1.1 million. Can you even imagine? The coin wasn't even shiny or pristine. It was used, it had some wear, and it was sitting in someone's collection, probably in a jar, forgotten. So if you've got a dusty jar of pennies at home, don't toss them just yet. Now, you're probably asking, why on earth is this penny worth so much? Well, there are a few factors at play here. First, it's the rarity factor. Only a few of these mint-mark-less pennies were ever produced, and even fewer made it into circulation. Most of them got caught in the mint's quality control, so they never reached the public. And the ones that did? Well, they were too small, too insignificant for anyone to notice. Until collectors started digging deeper. It's like when you were a kid and found that one Pokemon card you never thought would be valuable, but then later realized it's worth a small fortune. Same concept, just with coins. Rarity plus demand equals big money. So, here's a funny story. I was going through my own spare change a few years ago, the usual, hoping to find some quarters to do laundry, and I stumbled across an old penny. Nothing special about it, just your average worn-out penny. But it got me thinking, what if I actually had a rare one? So, I started researching and I started looking at mint errors and stuff like that. Well, spoiler alert, I didn't find $1 million penny in my jar. But hey, that's not the point. The point is, it sparked a new hobby for me, hunting for valuable coins. And believe me, it's actually pretty fun to go through your old change. Sometimes you get lucky. So now, I always keep an eye out for those rare finds. You never know when a humble penny could turn into your ticket to financial freedom. Okay, so how can you spot a 1994 no-mint mark penny in your collection? Well, it's simple. First, check your pennies from 1994. Then, flip them over and check the reverse side. If there's no mint mark near the bottom right of the coin, you might have found the Holy Grail. But don't get too excited just yet. Most of them are probably just regular old pennies. But hey, while you're at it, keep an eye on other years as well. Coin collectors love mint errors, things like double dies, off-center strikes, and even funny things like a penny with a scratch that looks like an ancient symbol. You never know when a random coin could turn out to be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions. So what are you waiting for? Start digging through that change jar. Who knows, maybe you've got $1 million coin waiting to be discovered. If you found this video interesting, or if it got you motivated to start hunting for coins, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. I'm posting regular tips and tricks on how to spot valuable coins, share my own findings, and give you the inside scoop on all the stuff you can collect and flip for cash. And if you've already found a rare coin, leave a comment below. Let's get a conversation going. Thanks for watching, and who knows, the next time you check your change, you might just find that $1.1 million penny. Picture this. You're going through your pocket change, maybe you're bored or just trying to find enough coins for a coffee, and bam, you spot a 1988 penny. At first glance, it seems like just another ordinary coin, right? But what if I told you that this tiny little penny could be worth a whopping $1.20 million? Yes, you heard that right. One penny. No joke. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. A penny? Seriously? But hang tight, because by the end of this video, you're going to be checking your couch cushions, digging through your coin jar, and thinking twice about that change in your wallet. Stick around, because we're diving into the mystery of the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it could make you a millionaire. All right, let's get down to it. The 1988 no-mint mark penny isn't your average coin, folks. In fact, it's anything but ordinary. You're probably used to seeing those pennies with a mint mark on them, right? The little D for Denver or S for San Francisco, telling us where the coin was made. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1988 no-mint mark penny doesn't have any mint mark at all. And that, my friends, is the reason why this coin can be worth so much money today. In 1988, the US Mint made a batch of pennies, and a few of them accidentally came out without a mint mark. Now, if you've been in the coin world for a while, you know that mint errors can turn a basic coin into a gold mine. In this case, the 1988 no-mint mark penny became a super rare collector's item. We're talking about one-of-a-kind rarity, and that means it commands a premium price. Here's where it gets wild. As of today, that little penny has sold for as much as $1.2 million at auction. Yeah, you heard me, million. That's more than most people's houses. And if you're wondering, how did they even spot that it was a rare penny? Well, collectors and numismatists, fancy word for coin nerds, are experts at picking out these minting mistakes. They can spot tiny details that you or I would totally miss. Now, don't think you can just start picking up every 1988 penny and hope it's worth a fortune. Oh no, it's not that easy. There are some factors that make a 1988 penny more valuable than others. First off, it has to be in pristine condition. We're talking about a coin with minimal wear, sharp details, and no signs of corrosion. A penny that looks like it's been through a washing machine or spent years under your sofa cushions won't be fetching anywhere near $1.20 million. But let me tell you a little story of my own. I've been through my share of junk drawers and piles of change, and I remember one time I found a 1982 penny while cleaning out my car. My heart skipped a beat. I thought it was going to be the next big thing, like a super rare coin, right? I even ran it through a coin price guide online, convinced it was worth a lot of money. Guess what? It turned out to be just a regular penny, worth less than $1. But hey, it was a learning experience. The key here is doing your homework and knowing what you're looking for. So, how do you tell if your 1988 penny is one of the rare ones? First, check for the missing mint mark. The 1988 penny was minted in Philadelphia, so it didn't have the P mint mark either, which is another unusual thing. If you find a 1988 penny with no mint mark at all, congratulations, you've got the right starting point. Now, you've got to check the condition. As I mentioned earlier, a mint condition penny is the key to getting top dollar. So, keep it in a safe spot and don't go flipping it around like you're playing poker. Now that you're all hyped up about the possibility of finding this golden penny, here's the big takeaway. If you happen to stumble upon a 1988 no mint mark penny in good condition, you could be holding a potential fortune in your hands. But let's be real here. It's not like you're going to find one under every rock or inside your change jar. But now you've got the knowledge and the eyes to spot one if it comes your way. And hey, if you find one, you might just become the next millionaire in your neighborhood. So, before you go rummaging through your coin collection or diving into the couch cushions, hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins that are worth way more than their face value. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future videos where I share even more strategies for finding rare, valuable coins hiding in plain sight. You're sifting through your spare change. You find a penny, and you think, just another penny. No big deal. But hold on. What if that penny is worth more than the lunch you just bought? What if that little copper coin sitting in your hand could make you over $1 million? Today, we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the coin world. The 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Stick with me as we break down what makes this penny so rare, why it's worth a small fortune, and how you might be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. So grab your magnifying glass or, your phone, and let's dive in. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this mystery penny. In 2008, the US Mint made a mistake. A pretty big one, actually, and it's the reason we're all here today. When they struck pennies that year, most of them had a mint mark, identifying which mint the coin came from. But for some reason, a small number of these pennies came out without that mint mark. Sounds simple, right? Well, it turns out that missing mint mark turns this penny from a common coin into a rare gem. Why? Because pennies usually come with a mint mark. Without it, that's a huge red flag to collectors that something's different, something's off. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, well, that's cool and all, but how much is it really worth? Great question. Some of these 2008 no mint mark pennies have sold for over $1.3 million. I know, crazy, right? But hey, that's what happens when a mistake gets made on such a massive scale. Not every 2008 penny without a mint mark will make you a millionaire. These are extremely rare, so if you happen to find one, consider yourself a part of a very exclusive club. And to give you an idea of how rare these are, it's estimated that only 2 or 3 of these pennies have made their way into public circulation, which is pretty wild when you think about it. But before you go running to your piggy bank, let's talk about how you can tell if you've got the real deal. First, you'll need a sharp eye. The missing mint mark is the key. So, get a magnifying glass and check that spot under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder, where the mint mark would normally appear. If it's blank, you might just be holding on to $1 million mistake. And I gotta say, when I first heard about this penny, I thought, nah, there's no way I'd ever find one. But then I remembered a story from my own experience. I was digging around in a box of old coins my grandpa left me, just a mix of pennies, nickels, and dimes. Most of it was junk, honestly. But one day, while I was cleaning out the box, I pulled out a 1982 penny. Not thinking much of it, I threw it in my pile. Then, something caught my eye. It looked different. Turns out, it was a rare copper penny, worth a lot more than its face valued. I wasn't about to retire on it, but it definitely gave me a glimpse of the thrill coin collectors get from discovering something rare. I couldn't help but wonder, what if that was the one? What if I had a 2008 penny without a mint mark just chilling in my collection? The thing is, if you don't know what you're looking for, you could totally miss out on these hidden treasures. That's why, when I say you should check your pennies, I'm not just talking about the ones you toss into your pocket change jar. I mean, really go through your collection, or even your spare change, because you never know what could be lurking in there. So, to wrap this all up, here's the deal. The 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there today. With the potential to fetch up to $1.3 million, it's a reminder that you shouldn't just glance over your pennies. Take the time to inspect them. You might just have a hidden fortune sitting in your pocket. And hey, if you found this info helpful, don't just walk away. Hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins that could be worth a fortune and strategies to spot those hidden gems in your collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on any of the coin tips we've got coming your way. Thanks for tuning in, and who knows? Maybe next time we'll be talking about your $1 million coin.